Hey guys, my name is Giselle, and I'm going to be talking about more in depth about my addiction and maybe misconceptions that people have about lust. For me, it started at a young age, and someone kind of introduced me to it. I won't go into specifics, but yeah, that's just kind of the premise, and that's kind of how the door was open to the enemy. Um, and I just wanted to say one of the biggest thing for me personally struggling with this addiction is that um, it made it I think for me is one of the things that the devil used to tempt me was the fact that it didn't seem serious at first, and it didn't seem like what I was warned in a sense with the church and pastors. In the sense, I did start this young, so I didn't really, at the time I wasn't really going to church. So yeah. And for me personally, this was one of my biggest battles that I was struggling with was lust, and it really seemed harmless at first. I think the first year it seemed very harmless, and it didn't really seem like anything was happening, anything wrong was happening. And I think that's kind of, for me personally, for things I struggled in my life, not only with lust, it seems very harmless at first. I wonder if y'all can relate with it seeming kind of harmless at first, and nothing seemed to go wrong at first. Like, nothing seemed to go wrong in my life, because usually when you keep the door open to sin, things will start to manifest and happen. I just wanted to say this, guys. I would never say this unless it's true. The devil is mad that this message is getting out. There's so much distraction, so much things is coming up against me. I really hope you guys appreciate this video, because there's constant distractions that are keep appearing. Like, dang, he don't want this to get out. Anyways, the first year seemed harmless. Didn't seem like anything was going wrong. Hiding it from my family. I do think there was warning signs that happened. Like, little signs started to kind of happen. I think there was like 2 or 3 signs that it started to kind of manifest, right? Because I feel like when you keep a door open to sin, things will start to become very apparent. To become very apparent, that it will become very apparent that it will start to happen. The second year, I think the second year was when that flesh doesn't seem satisfied and it wants more and more and more. And I think that was the second year where it was more things and exploring in more different ways. I think the most dangerous part about this all, maybe in the third to fourth year to even the fifth year, is it starts to become normalized, and it starts to kind of become your identity. And I think the most dangerous thing is it starts to become normal. It starts to kind of mesh into your identity, and this is just who I am. This is just who I've always been, and just using lust to kind of numb the pain, and not really wanting to face life, and it's just kind of like a fix. And you don't want to feel the pain, so you go towards this, and you go to this source to just numb the pain, and it starts to feel normal, and it starts and that desire keeps growing, and it's never satisfied. It just wants more and more and more. So for me, I just got really lost in it, and I felt very ashamed to talk about it. Never felt really confident to talk about it. And when I did try to talk about it, which was probably like the fourth or fifth year, that I was really starting to really manifest, and things were just becoming very apparent, like how the Bible talks about things that will things are in the dark that will come to light. There's a Bible verse about that. And things seemed to appear in my life where it was affecting school, and it just seemed to start to manifest like I had something inside of me, which are demons. I don't like saying the word. I hope you guys can get the gist. And it just started to affect everything, and it started to become, when I think the enemy can hide, but there's a certain point where it starts to manifest itself. It starts to become apparent. It starts to become true in your life that something is wrong. You're not okay. This is an addiction. You can't let go of something, because I feel like for me personally, I would tell myself I'm not addicted. I could go without it, until you actually try to go without it, and you just seem to can't let go of this, and that's why it's called a stronghold. If you guys want to do a little bit more research on strongholds, then you can. I won't fully go in depth on that topic. I won't go in depth fully on that topic. And I'm gonna go a little bit back on lust and kind of like backtrack a little bit on lust and kind of what it is. It's a gratification. It gratifies your flesh, but it does grieve your spirit. So I think maybe that's why afterwards, right, you feel that guilt, you feel that conviction. Again, I'm trying to keep it light. I'm not trying to go fully in depth in the topic, but I'm trying to keep it light, if you catch my gist. And I'll talk a little bit about repentance. True repentance is turning away from something. That's why in Proverbs says, just as a dog returns to its vomit, so does a fool, where you just keep repeatedly falling into that sin. That doesn't mean that sanctification is a process. Sanctification is a process, and usually it's a pretty lengthy time. So I wouldn't be too hard on yourself, because for me it took me quite a bit of time. I think I was like 4 to 5 years going through this, and then God delivered me from this. And I really hope this video, guys, can help you and the truth shall set you free. And because I feel like the biggest lie of the enemy is that it is not gonna hurt anyone, which it eventually does hurt. Whether you have a partner, you're married, you're dating someone, it definitely is gonna affect how you first view people. It's basically gonna if it's objectifying them. And also, it does talk about it in the Bible how if you look at a woman with lust, you're already committing adultery. So yeah, it definitely starts to affect how you view people, how that your view gets perverted. And again, it talks about it in the Bible where if your eyes are unhealthy, then so will your whole body be. And the heart is deceitful above all things. Who can understand it?